When should you reach out to a girl after you've had a first date? This is a question that I'm going to actually address again, even though I talked about this a couple of days ago in this video that I'm going to link up there. And the reason why I want to bring it up again is because there was a comment on that video that I would like to address. And I'm going to read that comment, okay? So this particular gentleman says, "This is really bad advice. If you wait 2 to 3 days to communicate with her after a date, I guarantee she'll start to lose interest. She'll either think you're not into her, you're playing games, you're a bad communicator, etc. And it might work with the girl who has attachment issues or is highly insecure." Okay. So when I read a comment like this from a guy, I can see where he's coming from. He potentially might think that, but let me propose to you a different way of thinking, okay? When I read a message like this, he is operating out of her frame, okay? He's not operating from a masculine perspective. And this isn't to cut him down and to say that he's not a masculine guy, but he's operating under her frame. And so what do I mean by that? When I go out with a girl, I'm showing up in a certain way that date is going to be a good time, right? Now, this isn't to say that every girl that I go out with, we have chemistry or that it's a good fit, but I'm saying the ones that do, I'm going to leave her in a position of being definitely open to getting together again, okay? That's what I'm bringing to that experience, okay? So if I don't follow up the very next day and say, well, hey, how are you doing today? I had a great time last night. If I don't do that right away or the second day or maybe even on the third day, if I don't immediately reach out to her, that is not going to cause her to think I'm playing games, etc. A big part of the reason why is because my persona or the way that I am, the way that I live my life is that it's clear to a woman who hangs out with me that I have things going on. You know, when I have set up that date, she knows that I don't dick around all day chatting with her. I set up a time, set up a place to meet, and boom, I am there. What I say, I do, right? There's no tons of texting back and forth before the date. None of that stuff. So she already knows before we even meet that I'm a man who gets to it, gets to the point, and gets things done. When we meet for the date, it's a good time. We have fun. We flirt. There's escalation. There's laughter. There's just a good goofing around and building rapport and just ending the evening feeling really good, okay? Now, a lot of the times, I won't even have to be the one reaching out. I've left her in such a state that the very next morning, she'll say, hey, I had such a great time last night. And this is usually what happens with the men that I coach. And I'll just even read to you a message. Let's see here, where is it? Just recently, a guy, he went out with a girl and she messaged him the very next morning. Thanks so much again for last night. I had a really great time. So she's reaching out to him because he showed up in an authentic manner, created a really good time. And so this idea that she's going to think that that she's going to start to lose interest, that's not the case. Her interest will have grown by the time you've gone out on that first date because you've done everything in such a way that builds attraction and builds interest. It doesn't lose it, okay? Now, if you're operating from the mindset of like, I got to do what I can to keep her, I got to make sure she doesn't lose interest, you're coming from it from a scarcity mindset, okay? Not to use the cheesy scarcity mindset thing, but part of it is coming from that mindset. And this is what I want you guys to consider. You're going to this date, you're bringing everything you got, you're giving her that masculine experience of just a really solid date. She's going to feel really good about that, and she's going to want to see you again. But then she knows that you're a guy who's got stuff going on. A couple of days to get back to her, she's not going to think you're playing games. That's absolutely untrue, okay? If you're approaching it from the mindset of like, okay, I've been texting her all the way up until the date, And then I get back to texting her as soon as we're done, because you're coming into it even before the date thinking that you got to maintain her interest, keep her warmed up. And I'm sorry to say, but if you have to do this, now you're just playing catch up 24/7. You're the one chasing after her all of the time, and you're not allowing her to come to you. You're not allowing her to wonder about you. The feminine needs time to build up those feelings. There are situations where if you're just constantly messaging her and staying in her peripheral, yeah, you're kind of busying her and just being that source of attention for her. That is possible. That's true. But you don't want to let that be your long-term plan, because now you're just always playing catch up, feeling like, oh, I have to text her back right away. I have to message her right now. And you're just chasing. I don't want you guys to be operating from that mindset. The mindset and the frame in which you should be operating out of is you are living your life. You got things going on, but you want to be with a girl. You want to have time in your day-to-day to spend time with a great girl. Okay, but she's not your entire world that you got to keep track of her and make sure she's not, like what you say here, losing interest. A girl who likes you, she's not going to that quickly just lose interest. She's hoping that you do reach out to her, and when you do after 2 or 3 days, she's excited, she's happy. If a girl gives you an attitude if you reach out a couple of days later, that's a good thing. It tells you she's high maintenance. She's got insecurity issues. That's the true insecurity issue right there. You know, if she's a little bit butthurt because you didn't reach out to her for a couple of days because you had things going on, well, that's a great sign for you to be like, you know what? If she's not cool just to chill for a couple of days, I mean, I could have had a lot of stuff going on. Then that's just not a girl that I would want to give too much time to. I don't want to deal with that kind of a bullshit in my life personally, and I would hope that you guys wouldn't want to either. Okay, so this is the thinking behind this. And plus, I mean, again, I don't coach women, but women reach out to me saying, like, guys just keep texting too much. It's overkill. It's like they need a little breathing room. Okay, so you constantly thinking that you need to be messaging her every day, following up immediately after a date. It's really not what you think. But again, if you're a younger guy, if you grow up just on Instagram and chatting all the time, where you're just used to messaging as soon as you get a message from a girl, then I could see why you might say this. But what I want you guys to understand is that you shouldn't be coming into it messaging her all day long before that first date. I have one client, I think he's 19 or just turned 20 or whatever, really young, just like many of you guys probably are, okay? He was doing that same shit, always on WhatsApp or always texting and just immediately there. His relationships were going nowhere. Now, after I told him, like, look, man, you just text her to set this date up, and then you got to carry on with your life. Study, your job, whatever the hell it is that you're doing, but she can't be the focal point. And you can't just be texting her all fucking day long until you go out. So he did that. He was a little bit skeptical. Like, I don't know about that. Because he's like, well, they're always texting me. That I'm like, dude. And so I told him how to handle all these things, okay? Now they can't get enough of him. They respect him. They're encouraging him because they know that he's a busy guy. So if he doesn't reach out to them for a couple of days, sure, maybe they do want to talk to him and stuff like that. But now they are knowing that he's off, he's studying, he's working, he's focusing on something. And so when they do finally get to see him on their next date, they're very excited. They're allowed to be put into their feminine because they're knowing that you're out there working hard, and they're giving you encouragement. They're hoping for you. And this is what you want, guys. You want a girl who's rooting for you, not a girl that you have to be sitting there on your phone all day wondering, okay, is she upset that I didn't message her? Is she okay? Do I have to check in with her? Don't want that for you guys, okay? So I appreciate that comment, and this is my response to that, okay? So like I said, guys, stay steadfast. I know some of this shit might seem a little weird to you at first because it's not your normal operating method of operation. But just trust me on this. Try it out for yourself, okay? Maybe, hey, if and I told him, if what he's doing is successful and he's happy with the results that he's getting, then by all means, brother, keep doing what you're doing. hey man, don't let me stop you. You gotta live your own life. But I'm just saying, I'm explaining to you from a masculine perspective, from a feminine perspective of how this stuff really works, and what I've seen after coaching hundreds of guys, the results, and even in my own life, the results that come out of it. Okay, so anyway, this is advice I hope that you guys can take and use and actually get better results if you're struggling. So that being said, keep at it, keep coming back, and we'll see you in the next video.